Social Media Marketing 2019. How small businesses can gain thousands of new followers, leads, and customers using advertising and marketing on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and more. Written by Gary Clyne. Narrated by Michael Reaves. Chapter 1. Introduction. Last weekend, two of my best friends and I decided a boys' night out was overdue. Ever since they got into the corporate world and I ventured out into entrepreneurship, we don't get to hang out as much. A nice dinner and a little party time would be a great way to catch up and unwind after the week I'd had, I thought. Unfortunately, none of us remembered to make any dinner reservations beforehand, so when the weekend arrived, we realized we needed to improvise. Saturday night dinner with no prior reservations in my city means you take what you get. Most of the cool eating spots are usually booked out days in advance. It's a small city and there aren't that many exciting restaurants to satiate the demands of a millennial. I'm very picky for a guy. So unless you plan way ahead, you'll be stuck with the crappy places. This Saturday night was no exception. We must have gone through 6 or 7 restaurants, all turning us down because they just couldn't accommodate a walk-in for 3. Almost in despair and feeling quite irritated and hungry, we started making fun of the fact that McDonald's, a few blocks away, might be our best bet. Paul came to a sudden halt and curiously stared at what seemed like a little old sign on a locked door that none of us had ever spotted before. He pointed sharply and asked, "Does that sign say restaurant entrance this way?" We all moved closer to have a better look. With the dim lights, it was rather hard to see, but in our Hungerfest, it was worth a look anyway. So we followed the sign to the side of this usually empty street, and lo and behold, there stood a guy dressed in a waiter suit, smoking a cigarette standing adjacent to a door which had no name. We asked him if this was the entrance to a restaurant, and he nodded casually, took one last puff of his dying cigarette, and said, "Follow me." Down we went through a small corridor in this mystery room, and all I kept thinking was, are we sure about this? That was the night we discovered a well-kept dining secret in our town. Once inside, the place was well lit, the service was excellent, the food was great, but it was mostly empty. No doubt why. One older couple sat on the one side of the room, a young couple with a small child on the other, and us. People just didn't know about this place. The restaurant was a year old, and yet even I never realized that building had a restaurant on the corner of the ground floor. Seeing as it was a boys' night out, we spent the rest of the night talking about more meaningful things, like girls and really fast cars. But the thought still lingered in the back of my mind. How could it be that such a great restaurant had no patrons? Of course, the owner wanted more business, but he clearly lacked the know-how of getting his restaurant in front of his ideal customers without overspending whatever little marketing budget he has. Sadly, he is not the only one stuck in this dilemma. Many small businesses are struggling to grow their brand awareness in today's marketplace. Traditional methods of advertising are usually too expensive for small businesses. Those that are somewhat affordable just aren't effective enough. And when it comes to digital marketing and social media, few have the right knowledge. I'm sure you've come across such businesses in your town as well.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?